IVM.
Hello and welcome to the Habit Coach Podcast, the bite-sized podcast filled with quick and easy, actionable habits. Remember, great habits create that awesome life. I am Ashdin Doctor, your habit coach. And today's fun fact of the day has to do with samurai warriors. Did you know that the most famous and possibly the most successful samurai warrior never had a bath? And I am, of course, talking about Miyamoto Musashi. Legend has it that he refused to have a bath as he did not want to be surprised or attacked unprepared. Can you imagine just how ahead of his time he was, using his armpits as lethal chemical warfare, long before it was used in World War II? Imagine his enemies would smell their death before they saw the gleaming sword slice them in half. Speaking of which, Musashi has a crazy record of being with over 60 documented duels and never having lost a single one. It is said that by the age of 13, Musashi was traveling across Japan, challenging people to a duel. At the age of 13, I was probably playing games on my computer thinking that I'm pretty badass. And look at Musashi go. When Musashi got older, he wrote a book on all his learnings as a warrior. It's called The Book of 5 Rings. If you want to read a book on the mindset of a warrior, this is a great place to start. In today's day and age, there is a transition that we have made. The mindset of a warrior is all but absent. We now have the mindset of a worrier, someone who's worried about things constantly. We have all become chronic worriers. Worried about the future, worried about what people think of us, worried about the rest of the world, worried that we've watched every single show on Netflix and there is nothing left to watch. This state of chronic worry has left us in a very damaged state. Constant worrying means that we keep our cortisol levels elevated. Cortisol is our stress hormone. Constant cortisol affects our reproductive functions, our immune system, and our digestive functions. And if you notice, these are the 3 main health issues that plague us as modern humans. We see fertility rates declining. PCOS is now a common issue amongst women. Our immune systems are in jeopardy. And, oh God, digestion, we all know that one too well. The number of people who ask me about how to get their digestive health back, their gut in order, is just crazy. There are 3 things that cause us so much worry these days. The first is access to more information than our primitive brains can process. Very often, within the first 2 hours of waking up, we will have gone through more information than a human had access to for their entire month just a century ago. And this is from all the news feeds and social media feeds and everything else that we're seeing. Hence, we have more things to worry about than ever before. The second is that as a culture, we become huge consumers of negative information. We've realized that negative information sells. Just look at your YouTube feed and you will see most of the titles are all negative and loss-oriented. It teaches us to worry. The third is our inability to take action and express ourselves. We procrastinate or freeze. No action leads to more worrying. We hope the problem will just go away, but it rarely ever does. Instead, I want you to change your mindset from a worrier to a warrior. I want you to move from a place of worrying and not taking action to a state of focusing on the things that are in your control and tackling them with discipline. The key thing about a good warrior is focus. They have one goal in mind and all else is wiped out from their mind. This kind of focus allows you to take decisive, quick actions. As soon as action is taken against something, the worrying goes away. Think about your life and your worries. Most of them are other people's problems or things that you have not taken action on quickly. So your simple habit starts by identifying the things you worry about the most. Then I want you to visualize putting on your armor, picking up your sword and helmet, getting your inner warrior ready to take action. This is the key. It will take practice, and you will soon learn to do the hard things. You will get comfortable doing the hard things. Miyamoto Musashi learned to be a warrior at the age of 7. It's never too late for us to start. Stop being a worrier. Start being a warrior. So start these habits and share with us your progress using the hashtag #TheHabitCoach. If you like this podcast, don't forget to check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can listen to us on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com. You can also follow us on social media. We are at IVM Podcasts on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to reach out to me, I am Ashdin Doc on Twitter and Instagram. You can find lots more information on my website, awesome180.com, or check out different content on my YouTube channel called AWESOME180. That's Awesome180.
I hope you enjoyed that show. If you aren't following us on social media, please do. We're IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We'd like to thank our sponsors very quickly this week, thewholetruthfoods.com, Storytel, and Siet. We really do appreciate your support. And we had a great week on the network this week. So tune in for some sweetness with our hosts Sadaf and Archit as they hone their sweet tooth and talk about candies. The famous, the healthy, the traditional, and international. Check out Naan Curry. You'll enjoy it. On last week's episode of The Note, Maruk and I spoke to TV presenter and columnist Veer Sanghvi, who analyzed the 2 years of the second term of the Modi government. As China and India signed the disengagement agreement along the LAC, Lieutenant General Dr. Prakash Menon and Manoj Kevarmani joined Suyash Desai to discuss the process and the consequences it will have on the nation and in world politics. Dr. Anton Harder joins Hamsini Hariharan on States of Anarchy to discuss India's right to a seat at the United States Security Council. Ashdin Doctor talks about duty, how individually it binds us and how as a society it is liberating. Check out The Habit Coach with Ashdin every day. Great show and great fun to listen to that. On Football Show to All the Boys to talk about their loves and sorrows for teams and their current ranks in the world of football. And also do remember to check out Cyrus Says. We had a great week last week. We had Amol Mazumdar, the ex-cricketer. We had Rocky and Mayur. And we did the Valentine special with Aisha and Kunal. Great fun. Do check it out. I'm sure you will enjoy that. And with that, I hope to see you again next week.
2020 is a difficult year. A global pandemic, protests, elections, recessions. You get the picture. What we need is a space where we can have nuanced discussions about global affairs and foreign policy. That's where I come in. My name is Hamsini Hariharan, and I host the States of Anarchy podcast. Every second Tuesday, I speak to experts in the field of international relations to make a little more sense of the world. So join me on the IVM podcast app, website, or wherever you're listening to me right now.